Hey everyone, today for our mindful math, it is a tricky one. So we're going to be looking at different solids and we're going to practice drawing them. And we're going to also write down the name of them. If you forget how to spell, that's written further back in your book, so that will be fine. And then we're also going to count how many edges, faces, and vertices there are. So those are new words for us. So if I take my, what's this called again? A cube, you got it. I'm going to count how many faces there are. Faces are the flat part or the curved part, depending on the solid. But on this one, it's the flat part. So I would count how many faces there are. An edge is where the two faces come together. So right there, right across there, that's an edge. And a vertice is a fancy word for the point. So wherever the points are, where the two edges come together, that makes a vertice. So this is going to be a little bit tricky because you don't have the solids in front of you. Normally, we would have these right in front of you and you'd be able to do them. So if you have things, if you can find items that are in these solids like you did for your scavenger hunt, that might make it easier for you. Or if you still have the ones that you made out of toothpicks or plasticine or popsicle sticks or marshmallows, however you decided to make them, if you still have those around, it might make it easier for you for the counting because this is a little bit tricky to do without it. Even Mrs. Thatcher has a hard time with trying to think, how many faces are there in a cube? I usually need something in front of me, whether it is something like this or finding a different real life example, which I don't have in front of me right now. But I do have a rectangular prism over here in front of me. So I could use this for my rectangular prism if I don't have something in front of me. If I don't have wooden solids like this at home, which you probably don't because Mrs. Thatcher doesn't even keep these at home. You might have those some other building blocks that you have, or even using your Lego, because I bet you have some cube-shaped Lego, or you could make one into a cube shape and then count it that way. So you might want to do that, to find objects, make them out of Lego, building blocks, things like that, to help you do the counting. But we're going to do the first couple of them together. And then if you have any problems at all, please give me a call and I would love to help you out. And let's do this one together. Here we go. All right, here we go. So this is called a sphere. If you're not quite sure how to spell it, you can go back in your book to go look for it. I know that it's on other pages. So I do remember how. It's a tricky one because that f sound is actually PH. Ear, sphere, and then I'm going to just trace it like it's telling me to do. I think I'm going to make it look though like a sphere because right now it looks like a circle by just adding a little bit of shading like this. Do you see how then it kind of makes it look like it's an actual sphere? It makes it look like it's three-dimensional, even though I drew it on a piece of paper. So now I'm going to draw some more spheres, just practicing. This lesson also will take us a long time, so if you don't get it done in one day, no problem. I'm actually going to block off tomorrow or the next day as well for this lesson because it does take us a long time. There's lots of steps involved. So there are my spheres. And now I'm ready to look at what has how many vertices, how many edges, and how many faces. So what was this called again? It's called a sphere. Okay, vertices. Those are the points. Does this have any points? 0 points. 0 vertices. Does this have any edges where two faces come together? No, it doesn't even have any edges. What about how many faces? It's actually just one big curved face. So there it is. And now I'm going to find some real life examples. I'm going to draw baseball. I'm going to draw an apple. And an orange are all examples of spheres. Now let's do this next page together. Like I said, we're going to do a couple of them together. If you feel like I've got this, Mrs. Thatcher, you can go ahead and work on your own. I'm going to go through this all together. I'm going to do a couple different pages with you, do some of the really tricky ones, and then you can always come back and watch. So our next one is a cube. I'm going to write down cube. I'm going to trace my cube. I'm going to actually draw my cubes the way I like to draw them, which is drawing my square. Some lines going up and out a little bit, and then connecting them. So I would draw that 4 times, and then it says a cube. Now let's see how many vertices it has. So remember, vertices are the points. So I'm actually going to write right on here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, don't forget the other side. Flip it on over. 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 points, 8 vertices. Now let's find out how many edges there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now the top. 9, 10, 11, 12. See how that can be a little bit tricky? It's tricky to make sure that you count each of them only once, and that you don't count them more than once. So it's a little bit tricky. So faces. So you might even want to do this one with a friend. I'm going to write right on here. Mrs. Thatcher's written on this one lots of times before. Let's count how many faces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, this one doesn't have a number yet. 5. Oh, that has a number. 6. I think that's all of them. So there are 6 sides. Hey, if you have a dice, that might work to count, because a dice is a cube. I'm going to draw a dice over here. And then I'm going to think of 2 other examples. I'm going to do 2 more examples, and then if you get stuck though on the other ones, remember that you can still call me. This is a really tricky one. So what was this shape called again? If you guessed cylinder, you got it. I'm going to trace it. And then I'm going to draw my own. Or I could draw it this way. Practicing these also helps with other kinds of drawing. Cylinder. Let's see how many vertices. Vertices, remember, are those points. Let's see, is there any points over here? No points. Any points over here? No points, no vertices. How many edges? Faces meet each other. 1, 2 edges. Now, here's the tricky thing. How many faces do you see? I see one face, two faces, and then a curved face. There's three faces all together in my cylinder. And then I'm going to draw some real life examples. Mrs. Thatcher had some tomato soup, so I'm thinking about tomato soup cans. Soup can. All right, I'm going to leave this rectangular prism for you to try figuring out on your own. I'm going to do this last one with you, and then I'm going to also let you do the pyramid on your own. So, how many on this cone? This is called a cone because it looks like an ice cream cone. They probably, I guess, named this shape first, this solid first. I'm going to trace over it. And I'm going to draw some of my own. Kind of looks like a party hat too. Maybe I'll draw a party hat over here. I'm going to draw it 4 times to practice. And now let's see. A cone has how many vertices? Vertices is the points. How many do you see? Call it out. I see 1 vertice. How many edges? Well, there's not an edge there. Right here, there's an edge. So it has 1 edge. And I see 1 curved face and 1 flat face. There are 2 faces. So there's also the pyramid, and also this is called a triangular prism. I'll write that up here so that you know how to spell it, because I think that's the first time that we've talked about this one. Triangular prism. And a triangular prism looks like this. It means that there's a triangle on both sides. So I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 edges. I see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 faces. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vertices in this triangular prism. All right, if you have any questions, please let me know and I would love to help you out. And remember, you don't have to get this one all done today. This is a really big lesson. Talk to you soon. Bye.